just reached 1,000 subscribers, and I just want to say shout out to the Ambitious fam. Like, I really appreciate you guys so much. I am absolutely blown away that, you know, this many people actually want to watch my journey and are inspired by me in some way or gain value from my channel in some way. Like, that really does bring me happiness. It makes me feel like what I'm doing is for a reason. So yeah, thank you guys. To me to finally share with y'all who I am outside of just like med school vlogs or just informative videos. Like, I feel like I haven't had a sit down talk to you just about, you know, who I am, what I'm about, what do I do, what do I like, what are my interests. And of course, I'm sure you guys have figured out some things along the way, but you know, I want to finally have like a sit down introduction of myself. And yeah, so let's just kind of go right into this video. So I want to start out with like just like that main question, like tell me about yourself. So y'all, like, I am 25 years old and I grew up in Long Island, New York. Yeah, both my parents have inspired me in so many ways because my father, he was a physician, he was a pediatrician in New York City in the ER, and he passed about 3 years ago now, but he inspired me in so many ways to go into medicine. I feel like I would say the first story that I have when it comes to my dad and medicine was actually, he took me to, yeah, I'm pretty sure it was like a take your daughter to work day. It was like a conference or something. And we're literally on our way. We're in the city at this point when all of a sudden there's like all this smoke, all this chaos. There's a whole lot of smoke going on. And let me tell you guys, I was about 4 years old, so of course I don't remember everything, and I'm super young, can't really tell what's going on. But I remember asking my dad, like, Dad, what is that smoke? And he wasn't really telling me much. But it just so happens that day ended up falling on 9/11, and of course my mom, you know, going crazy. She's like, my husband, my daughter's in the city, has no contact with us at this point. She had to go pick up my brother. My dad had to rush me home somehow, got me home, dropped me, and went immediately back to the city because, like I said, he's a physician in the ER. And yeah, he had to serve. He had to help as many patients as possible that day. And ultimately, I remember him getting an award for his service on that day. And from that point on, like, I didn't know much about 9/11, I didn't know much about medicine, but I just knew that my dad was a superhero. Like, I really thought he was a superhero at that point, and I'm like, wow, like, I want to be like my dad one day. So that was like the first glimpse of like what my dad did, you know. And then throughout the years, I just saw the impact he had on my community of being a Black male physician, seeing how much, you know, of an inspiration he was to my community. And when people called him Doc, I was like, wow, like, that's so cool. Like, my dad really makes a difference here, you know. And my mom too, like, she is a school psychologist. She has her PhD. She's a teacher as well, and she works in an underserved community in Far Rockaway, and she makes a huge difference as well. But I knew, honestly, very early on that I did not like kids. It's like, it's not that I don't like kids, but I don't like to teach kids and I don't like to be around kids all day. So I just knew, yeah, I'm not gonna go into that. You know, of course, I don't dislike kids, but I just did not see myself in a field where I'm just working with kids all the time, which is interesting because my dad's a pediatrician. Was a pediatrician. My mom works within the school system as well. My brother, I didn't mention him yet, but Chris, he works with kids as well, like teaching, and also he's a tennis coach. And it seems like my whole family loves to teach kids, or like loves to be around kids, loves careers that are revolved around kids. But I knew that was not for me. I don't know if it's because I'm like the youngest and I felt like I was always the one catered to, that I just didn't know how to cater to kids. But I think it is kind of being like the youngest. But I did want to say that both my parents have definitely influenced me in that aspect of wanting to work with the underserved though. Like, even though I don't want to work directly with kids every day, like, I know I wanted to work with the underserved, and they inspired me in that way. And they definitely showed me how much representation matters. I feel like that's always kind of been near and dear to me, working with the underserved, making a difference in my community. And ultimately led me to want to become a doctor as well. Where did you go to college? So that's the next question. So I went to Pepperdine University. A lot of you may know it as Zoe 101, PCA. Yeah, that was my campus, and I loved Pepperdine. Met my closest of friends at Pepperdine. Had the best time of my life at Pepperdine. It's in Malibu, California, so beautiful scenery, beautiful weather, beautiful everything all the time. I love LA, so I definitely see myself going back there. And yeah, we'll see what the future holds, but that's where I went to college. I majored in Hispanic studies. So I got my Spanish major, and then I also was pre-med student, of course. So I had the pre-med requisites there. And I ultimately got to study abroad for an entire year in Argentina and Spain for my sophomore year. So I went to Argentina for my entire sophomore year, and then I spent 2 more months in Spain immediately after. So that was amazing. Like I just, it's amazing because actually I just got off the phone with, not off the phone, but I've been taking these Spanish conversation classes because I'm working on becoming completely fluent in Spanish now. So I got off the phone with my Spanish teacher, and she's actually from Argentina. So it's so dope to talk to her about like how Argentina is now, and just talk about my experiences there and stuff like that. But that's besides the point. I went to Argentina and Spain, literally loved it. I was able to serve at a medical clinic or a clinic prevention center while I was in Argentina as well. And that opened my eyes to just like, healthcare access, and my interest peaked in global health definitely through that experience as well. So yeah, that was my major. That's what I did. I made the greatest of friends and made the greatest of relationships while in college. I still hold them near and dear to my heart. They're my bridesmaids. They're definitely my closest people. So yeah, and okay, so next question is, what did I do during my gap year? So I graduated in 2019, and I started medical school in 2021. So I had 2 gap years. My first 7 or so months, I was an intern, a paid intern with a mentor of mine. She's a cosmetic dentist, and she has a private practice in Long Island and Brooklyn, New York. So I was able to work at both practices and basically just assisting her, and also helping her with her social media accounts, and basically that was my responsibilities. And then I also started studying for my MCAT as well. So I took that in January of 2020, and y'all, the pandemic hit like 2 months after. So that was crazy. Everything got shut down, and essentially I really didn't do much outside of just training. I did virtual training for fitness. I'm a NASM certified personal trainer, and I did fitness coaching online, but I didn't do anything clinically related outside of that. So that was my gap years. What do I like to do for fun? So guys, I just mentioned fitness. I love to work out. I enjoy like weightlifting specifically is kind of what I like to do, like strength training. I really gained a love of that during my gap year. And so my boyfriend at the time, my fiance now, but he kind of put me into, weightlifting, showed me how to, have good form, etc. And I got really into it, and I was able to then get certified in personal training as well. So yeah, it's been like a journey for that as well, but I enjoy weightlifting. Outside of that, I also love creating content. So I was creating a lot of content, like fitness content during my gap years. Since medical school has started, I haven't been very consistent with that, but I do try my best to stay very active while I'm at school, and I'm back on my weightlifting journey again. In addition, guys, I love to travel. I love to see new places, like spontaneous trips are things I like to do as well. I love to immerse myself into different cultures. Like when I go to a new country, I'm like that person that doesn't really like to do like all the touristy things. Like yes, that's cool too, but I really like to know like what do the locals do, like where are the locals at, what is the vibe here, like on a local level, like can I see myself living here? Like that's kind of the questions that I ask myself before I go somewhere, and that's kind of the answers I want to get when I visit a place, because you never know where you can see yourself living. And I'm a very on the go, spontaneous type of person. Like I've lived obviously in Argentina and Spain for a year, and I could honestly see myself living almost anywhere. I'm pretty much a nomad, and yeah, I'm always open to learning new things. And that's why I love medicine, because there's always something to learn in medicine. It's literally a lifelong learning experience. And yeah, but I feel that way about a lot of things outside of medicine as well. Like I feel like life in general, we're constantly learning about ourselves. And that's actually kind of something I wanted to go into in one of these questions. So one of the questions is, why stay ambitious? People ask me this all the time. I have my necklace here, stay ambitious, all my social media platforms, Instagram, TikTok, Instagram, TikTok, what else is there? YouTube. My website, Stay Ambitious Co. I have like a personal brand. But y'all, Stay Ambitious, what is it? Like, why did I start it? When did it come up? So I honestly started this, I think, middle school for sure, Tumblr days. I was obsessed with a song called Ambitious Girl by Wale. Like, that was my song in middle school. Like, I would listen to that all the time. I feel like on the way to school, like that was my song, y'all. And I just wanted to be that ambitious girl. Like, I wanted to just reach all my goals. I had so many dreams at such a young age. Like, I was such a visionary, like at such a young age, you guys. Like, it was kind of weird where I was literally like writing up like every single inch and part of my life. Like, it's like, come on now, relax. Like, I was like, okay, by this year, I'm gonna do this. By college, I'm gonna be here. By career, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna marry this type of man. Like, I literally had it all written out, like in middle school. Like, it was weird. But I've always been a person that always thought about the future. And I just had so many goals and dreams, and I was like, I'm going to accomplish them, and like by any means necessary. Like, what do I have to do to make this happen? And part of those dreams obviously was going to be a doctor. And I was like, okay, so in high school, you know, just doing all those academic things. I was like 3 years ahead I was like 2 years ahead or 3 years ahead? 3 years ahead in math, 2 years ahead in science. Like, I was taking algebra in middle school in like 7th grade, I believe. I don't know, but there was a lot I was doing. I was like the mathletes co-captain. I was kind of like, I guess, that nerdy girl, but also wasn't like super nerdy. I don't know how people would describe me in high school, but I do know people definitely realized that I was always thinking about the future, because even when it came to my superlatives, for like once we graduated from high school, mine was most likely to succeed. And they also said like, Dominique stays ambitious. Like, so that's been my thing since middle school. Like, everyone kind of knew me as that person that's going to stay ambitious, that's going to do, it's going to grind, I guess. And like, I really do like the mission behind staying ambitious. And I feel like it's been something that has been my mentality for a while, and I really do appreciate that mentality of wanting to, you know, keep going, keep persisting, keep grinding after those goals of mine. But I will say that there can be a negative side to my mentality sometimes of always thinking about the future, because it really is important to just stay in the now. And by staying ambitious, it doesn't mean to stay in the future all the time. And I feel like in my head, I would kind of mix the two, like, oh, always be thinking about the future. No, sometimes you gotta stay in the now. You gotta really appreciate the moments you have now, the people that you have now, the loved ones that are in your life now, the people that are speaking into you right now, the moments and experiences that you're going through right now. Because ultimately, all these people, all these things, all these experiences are shaping you, right? And I feel like I was always on the next thing. And even now, I have to work on myself in that aspect, because I'm like, it's to a point that sometimes it makes me very anxious, and it makes me overthink way too much, and it puts me into like a place I really don't want to be in. Like, it's okay to really just be appreciative of where you're at now. Like, you've accomplished so much already, and be happy with your accomplishments right now. Don't think that you're not good enough, or you're not worthy, or you're not valuable because you haven't reached these quote-unquote goals that you have for 5-10 years from now. Like, what, you're not going to be happy until 5-10 years from now? Like, it just doesn't work like that. So I feel like I want to just make it clear that, guys, yes, I am, you know, someone that loves to just get things done. I'm not going to say like these are bad qualities that I have at all, because it has gotten me to this place, but there are some qualities that have been pretty negative and have had a negative impact on my mental health. And I wouldn't say it's gotten to like a bad, terrible point, but I know, like, my fiance, he's very supportive, but he's helped me through like a lot of just like really just down periods where I'm just like constantly thinking, okay, this and this, or worrying about the future, or comparing myself. Like, you know, I can't be the only one that's comparing themselves to another person that's 5 years ahead of you. Like, okay, well, they started 5 years before you, so why are you comparing yourself to them? Like, your time is your time, and your time will come in due time. So yeah, that's just something I wanted to say. Like, I'm not someone that doesn't struggle with anxiety, that doesn't struggle with anything. Like, I've had my challenges, I've had my tests, and still to this day, I'm still working on myself. And I feel like that's actually, I would say, something I enjoy doing, is working on myself. Because this past year, like, people ask me how was medical school, and like, honestly, yes, I learned a lot about medicine, but I learned a lot about myself too. And I feel like my gap year, I was learning about myself, but I feel like I was also very caught up and in, you know, doing things to impress other people, doing things to impress my followers, doing things to get more likes, doing things to get more followers. Whereas now I'm like, I feel like this really isn't like my goal. Of course, you know, every now and then you'll have like thoughts like that, but I feel like it hasn't been my priority at all. And it makes me very happy because I feel a lot less drained by social media. I was very drained and people didn't realize that, but in my gap years, I was posting a lot. Yes, I was very consistent, but it was draining. Like, it was draining me and I just didn't feel happy. Like, I didn't feel like it was for me. I didn't feel like, I feel like the purpose behind it just wasn't my purpose, or I wasn't understanding what my purpose was. I was just doing it just to show people that I can, you know? But I feel like this past year, God has really shown me so much about who I am, my passions, what I love to do, what my purpose is in this platform specifically, but also in other platforms. But like YouTube, I feel like I love YouTube because like it doesn't make me feel like I have to constantly keep up with what people are saying, what people are liking. Like, it's just like I get to post what I want to post and I get to give value when I want to give value. I get to think, okay, what is the purpose behind this video? How can I help someone? And just post it. And like, yes, I love to, you know, see comments, but I don't feel drained by comments. I don't get drained by likes. And that's what makes me very happy about YouTube. Like, it's something that I really see myself doing long term because it's not something that really takes over my life in any way. I can post once a week. Who knows, in the future, maybe I'll post twice a week, but this is like, okay, I do it in my timing and I don't really care what anyone has to say about it. And it brings me happiness in that way. I learned about my priorities because the people in my life that are in my life now, I feel like are people that I really see myself being a part of my life forever. And I've had, you know, some friendships that have gone. I've had some people that I thought were going to be my friends forever that are no longer my friends. But that's kind of what life is about. There's ups and downs. There's people that are meant to stay. There's people that are meant to go. And you just kind of have to accept things along the way because we're in our 20s. And I feel like this period is all about learning, growing, finding out your truth, finding out who you are outside of the noise of social media, the noise of high school cliques and who's popular, who's not. Like, I feel like we're in this growing stage. We're in this adulting phase and like, it feels great. Like, yes, it can have a lot of challenges with it, especially because we're like coming out of pocket now. We're paying our own bills. We're doing all this stuff on our own finally, like, and we're also discovering ourselves at the same time. But I really do enjoy this phase of discovering me. And I can't wait till I get more and more knowledge of who I am. It's just amazing to see who I want in my life, who's made a difference, who I'm able to make a difference in their life. Like, we're just kind of like exchanging value to each other, you know? So yeah, that's that. Like, priorities, my passions, my goals, my career goals have been a lot more clear to me. And that makes me very happy to be 25 and I could kind of say like, yeah, I know a little bit more about myself. Like, I feel like I have a good idea of like who I am now. So that is kind of my intro video, you guys. That is who I am. That's what's going on. Thank you guys once again for 1,000 subscribers. I love you guys so much. Y'all are so amazing. Y'all are so dope. And I can't appreciate y'all enough. So I just want to shout y'all out for that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you guys. And if you haven't subscribed, y'all, like, come on now, join the ambitious fam. You don't want to miss out. I'll be posting every week for y'all. Like, comment, turn on the post notifications. I'll see you guys in the next video.